On a particularly sweltering summer day, the kind that makes the asphalt shimmer and even the most avid sun lovers seek shade, Emma decided to visit the park. She often found solace among the trees, and despite the oppressive heat, she felt drawn to her favorite spot by the old oak tree. Armed with a water bottle and a wide-brimmed hat, she set out, hoping for a breeze by the small stream that meandered through the park. Across town, Jake was feeling the same restlessness. An outdoors enthusiast, he couldn't bear to spend the day cooped up inside with the air conditioning humming monotonously. He packed his camera, aiming to capture the park's beauty even under the relentless sun. The park was vast, and he knew that somewhere among its trails, he could find a moment of quiet and inspiration. Their paths crossed near the old oak, where Emma had spread out a blanket. She had just begun to lose herself in a book when Jake, drawn by the shade and the promise of a good photograph, stumbled upon her sanctuary. "Mind if I sit here?" Jake asked, holding up his camera as if to explain his presence. Emma looked up, slightly surprised but welcoming. "Sure, it's a free park," she replied with a smile. As Jake settled nearby, they exchanged casual conversation. What began as small talk about the unbearable heat and favorite spots in the park quickly evolved into a deeper connection. They discovered shared interests, love for nature, a passion for photography, and a mutual appreciation for classic literature. The minutes turned to hours, and the sweltering day seemed a bit more bearable in each other's company. By mid-afternoon, the heat had become almost unbearable. Emma's cheeks were flushed, and Jake could feel the sweat trickling down his back. "There's a spring not too far from here," Jake suggested. "It's a bit hidden, but the water is cool. Would you like to go?" Emma nodded eagerly. "Lead the way." They walked together, the air thick and still, their steps hurried in anticipation of the cool relief. When they reached the spring, nestled in a secluded part of the park, it was like discovering an oasis. The water glistened invitingly, a stark contrast to the oppressive heat surrounding them. Without hesitation, they kicked off their shoes and waded into the spring. The cool water was a shock at first, but soon, it was a soothing balm against the day's heat. Laughter bubbled up as they splashed each other, their playful antics a stark contrast to the intensity of the day. At one point, Jake took Emma's hand to help her navigate a slippery rock. The touch lingered longer than necessary, and their eyes met, a silent understanding passing between them. As they stood there, ankle-deep in the refreshing water, the world around them seemed to fade away. The chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves, and even the heat of the day melted into the background. In that moment, they embraced, the cool water swirling around their legs, a gentle breeze rustling the trees above. It wasn't just a relief from the heat. It was the beginning of something profound. They held each other, the connection palpable, their hearts beating in unison. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the spring, Emma and Jake knew that this day, born of oppressive heat, had given rise to something beautiful. They walked back to the oak tree hand in hand, their hearts light and full, knowing that the summer's heat had kindled a love that would only grow stronger with time.